All right. Good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone. Thanks for joining today's live session. Now, this is going to be a very wonderful one. Today's live session is on how founders can build authority and generate inbound opportunities on LinkedIn. Thank you very much for joining, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much for joining, guys. So, if you are just joining, drop your location, where are you joining from, and what's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn. So let me know where are you joining from. What's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn? You wish you understand right now. You want to learn about what's that one thing you want to learn. So let's get the comments in the chat, guys. Let's get the comments in the chat. Yeah. So what's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn? And let us know where. Let me know where you are joining us from. Let me know where you are joining from. All right. Let me know where you're joining from, and also that's one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn. And now, as I always say this, because most people on LinkedIn, they understand the platform, but they don't really know how to use it to generate opportunities for themselves. And today, my job here is to help you start using LinkedIn, using it consistently, teach you how to use it first off, how to use it consistently, secondly, and how to use it generate opportunities for yourself. The promise at the end of this live call is that at the end of this live call, you have a framework on how to use LinkedIn consistently, and also you'll be able to use LinkedIn to generate opportunities for yourself. You'll be able to use your LinkedIn in such a way that it starts producing opportunities for you. All right, with that being said, let's get live into it. But while I pull up the slides, let's also let me know where you are joining from. You can drop the comments in the chat. You can invite people, share the link, spread the word. Let's spend these few minutes talking about LinkedIn and how to improve ourselves on LinkedIn. Big one, guys, the weekend branding podcast. My podcast was live 3 weeks ago. So the links are also available. If you want the link, I'm going to drop it after the call on the comment section. So you can also get the links to the podcast. Basically, the podcast is where I share my raw thoughts and my frameworks, everything goes live into the podcast. So yeah, you can also as well get the podcast. But for today, let me know where are you joining from. What's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn? While I pull up the slides, I will get started. All right. So while I pull up the slides, let's get ready. Let's get hyped up. What's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn? No, because I feel today we're going to be talking about how you can build authority on the platform. And sincerely, most people don't know how to do this. It's mind-boggling how many people don't have an idea or are not certain on how to do this. And most of these frameworks I'll be teaching today are things I've learned and experienced by myself. I feel will be very useful to everyone who's going to be on this call. Also, this call is going to be recorded and posted on YouTube. So my YouTube will be coming live after this call. So you can actually get to watch this live stream, live event on YouTube as well after this call. Yeah. So while I wait for the slides, I'm going to pull up the slides, but let's um let's get started. I'm looking for can't find any comments here, so just let me know where are you joining from. What's that one thing about LinkedIn you want to learn? All right, so I'm gonna pull up the slides now. All right. All right. So we're here and now we're ready. Slides are here. We're good. Let's go. Let's go. So today's live event is going to be very practical and it's going to actually teach the weekend branding framework. And believe that with this framework and also the 5 steps on building authority on LinkedIn, which I'm going to touch as we go along, we're going to get huge value for the time we're going to spend here. Thank you very much. Let's dive into it. All right. So yeah, welcome to today's live. Where are you joining us? Welcome to today's event. Welcome to today's event. Right. I think the first event we had people join from US and we had a lot of people also passively join as well. So if you are on this call, you are listening, you are on LinkedIn on your phone or your laptop, at work, at home, that you are welcome, you are highly welcome, and you're going to get value. I promise you that. So the next thing is how founders can turn LinkedIn content into inbound opportunities. Basically, how you can build authority and generate inbound opportunities. I said it's a simple system for building trust and getting paid. A simple system for building trust and getting paid. You build authority, you build trust, you generate the leads, and you get paid for it. So this is what we're going to be talking about today. Who is this for? So founders and consultants, owners of businesses, people who are serious about building on LinkedIn. So you have a business, you are serious about building and making a name on LinkedIn. You are clear on what you do, but you don't know how to show it online. You have your skill, you don't just know how best to, you have your business, you have your expertise, you don't just know how best to portray it online to get the most value out of it. This is for you. You are posting, but you are posting inconsistently or you overthink content, right? There are a lot of people who overthink content. They try to make it too formal, too like no, I want to say strive for perfection, but they overthink content, right? Or they are posting consistently because of their work or their schedule, and they are trying to find a way to match that schedule or their work with their lifestyle. Then this life event is for you. If you are tired of random posting, so you are posting randomly, you don't have a clear structure for posting, and you want payoff, right? You want a situation where you build a LinkedIn presence that actually pays you because your LinkedIn presence could actually be scattered and could pay. There are a lot of profiles I land on and some profiles I look at, wow, this is a very well structured, organized, strong profile. But there are some profiles you land on and you're like, even though this person has lots of followers, I mean, it's scattered. So you want something that is not random, something that pays off. And you also want to drive, increase trust and increase inbound because inbound and trust go together. If people trust you enough, you're going to get a lot of inbounds. I'm going to talk more on that as we go forward. How to build trust, how to build inbound. So if this is any of you, if you're a founder, you're serious about building on LinkedIn, you own a business or you're a consultant or you are just is for you. This event is for you, right? So who is this not for, right? People who want quick hacks or viral tricks and do this to get a million followers. Use this for all right. Yeah, sorry for that break. We're back. So let's continue. All right. So let's talk about who this is for and who this is not for. Next is what you get today. This was where I was before the glitch, right? What will you get today? Today you get clear positioning, how to position yourself on LinkedIn in a very clear manner, clearly positioned, a simple content reading, a system for what to post and why you should post it, confidence in your LinkedIn presence, and a clear path. The clear path is from content to trust to inbound, content to trust to inbound. So today you're going to learn positioning, a simple content reading, what to post and why you should post them. So you will have confidence in your LinkedIn and you're going to have a clear path to follow. I feel most of the issues people have with LinkedIn and special social media is that they don't have a clear path to follow. Like they are not clear on what to do. Like it's so vague. A lot of conflicting advice, so they don't know what to do. And we're going to clear that issue today after this call. So are you ready? If you are ready, drop ready in the chat. If you are ready, let's go. Let's go. So one thing I've noticed on LinkedIn is people don't struggle with ideas, right? Ideas, intellectual property, people don't struggle with all of those. Like if you've worked for years or you've been in the business for years or for months, I mean you can't struggle with ideas and IP. What people struggle with is positioning, content structure, and consistency. Right? People struggle with positioning themselves to show who they are, positioning themselves to show their real value, positioning themselves to actually create impact. People struggle a lot with positioning. The next thing is with content structure. Like most people don't have a clear structure on how to write content. They write content randomly. So they want to create content, but they don't know what to create. So when you don't have an idea, you create randomly, and that's what happens with a lot of people. And that lack of idea is what leads to inconsistency. Eventually, poor positioning, poor content is a wonderful formula, proven formula for inconsistency. When you add poor positioning plus poor content, inconsistency is guaranteed. So, what do you need to become somebody that gets authority, that has authority, and gets inbound lead on LinkedIn? What you need to do it, or what do you need rather to do this? You need clear positioning, a content system that makes you an authority, grants you inbound, helps you stay consistent, and makes LinkedIn fun and easy. So you need something that makes LinkedIn fun and easy for you, helps you stay consistent, helps you generate inbound leads, makes you an authority, and it's a very clear, simple system. And I'm going to touch on all of these today. I'm going to touch on all of these. As I said, you need a clear, simple system to win on LinkedIn. If you don't have a clear, simple system, clear, simple framework, clear, simple idea, you might not be able to win on LinkedIn. I know Matt Barker always says make LinkedIn fun and easy, right? If it's not fun and easy, if LinkedIn can only be fun and easy once you have a clear system, a clear framework, a clear idea, a clear method, a clear path, a clear direction. Most people don't have that. And the truth is, when you meet conflicting advice on LinkedIn, you don't know which to follow, you don't know what to do. So with this live call today, you're going to have a very clear path, and I'm going to talk about it in the next slide. That's why I created weekend branding method. Now, weekend branding has become my I was gonna say my method or my way of doing things, because the weekend branding method was something I developed to help founders build authority on LinkedIn. Something that I believe and I know that founders use to actually get results. I've used the same method for working for my clients. I pace it, I pace content, and it works for myself. I also sometimes work with a weekend branding method. So this is something that I know works, and I believe you're going to get huge value from it. So who am I? My name is Matthew Badin. As at the time I had this slide, it was on 6.9K. I'm currently on 8K followers. A top voice on LinkedIn, Magic Post partner, author of Weekend Branding Method, and also the founder or the host of the Weekend Branding Podcast. So yeah, these are the things I've achieved. So this is the guy speaking in front of you. I'm a ghostwriter for founders, especially founders in Australia and the US. All right, so these are some of my screenshots. This is me, my LinkedIn profile. This is what AI has to say about me. This is when Anthony Martini listed my 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 top voice recognition by Favicon. So these are all the screenshots. So you know you're speaking with the real deal. So yeah, for one thing is obvious. This method works, right? This method I've used for myself, I've also used for my clients, and it works. So everything I'm going to tell you today is tested, it's trusted, it's proven, and it's something that you can use for yourself. So here is how you can use it and make it work for you. First stage is positioning. All right. First stage is positioning. Now, positioning is how you are seen on LinkedIn. As I said, it's a foundation. Without positioning, you can't build any other thing on LinkedIn. And Lara Acosta said this on one of our live events. She said, you can't outpost bad positioning. You can't outpost bad positioning. So what that means is that if you are positioned wrongly on the platform, there's no amount of posting that's going to change that. So if you are a founder of a company, or let's say you're president of sales at a car dealership, and your profile looks like that of an entry-level car dealer, then you are poorly positioned, very poorly positioned. Let's say you are the owner of Tesla, like you are Elon, and on platform you have a very low profile. I think even Elon has that issue as well. On his LinkedIn, is pretty much non what I call it, non-existent rather. So let's say you are someone like Elon and you own a business. You've been in business for a couple of years, and your profile does not reflect those years in business. There's no amount of posts you're going to write. You're not going to attract the right market. You're not going to maximize your value. You're not going to maximize the value you bring to the market and the value you can get, because your profile is not properly positioned. And Lara has said it, you can't outpost bad positioning. 90% of the issues you have with LinkedIn, from content to recognition to inbound to everything, comes down to bad positioning. If you are positioned right and everything is right, because as I said, the issue is not the ideas, the issue is not the IP, the issue is not the knowledge, the issue most times is positioning. So if you are positioned right, most times all your LinkedIn problems usually sort themselves as you go forward. But what we find out is most people are not properly positioned. So we're going to talk about how to solve that as we move forward. So now, before you write and before you do anything on LinkedIn, before you do anything on LinkedIn, you have to answer these four questions. Why are you on LinkedIn? Who are you here for? What problem do you solve? Who pays you? Why are you on LinkedIn? Who are you here for? What problem do you solve? Who pays you? Now, these are the four questions. Now, when you answer these four questions, you're able to position yourself because on LinkedIn, you are creating content for people. You are out there with a mission to help people or a vision to create a positive change for others. So you have to identify why are you on LinkedIn? What's that positive change? What's that impact you want to make? Is it more sales for your business? Is it for more people to try out your solution? Is it for you to get recognition? Is it for you to get opportunities? Is it for you to get founders or co-founders or maybe other business people? Is it for you to gain sales or to build a strong voice on the platform? Whatever your reasons are, you have to notice down why. Then who are you here for? Who do you want to speak to? There is this vast over 1 billion people on LinkedIn, so you have huge audience. But everybody is not for you, right? Your audience is for you. So who are the people you want to talk about? Who you want to talk to rather, you want to talk about, even if that's what the case is. Who are they? What problem do you solve? What value do you bring to these people? You have to note it down. What value do you bring to these people? If you've been a founder of a tech business, then you have knowledge about tech. So you could solve the problem for young tech guys who are getting in, people in tech who are missing getting it wrong. What problem specifically do you solve, or what problems do you solve, and who pays you? When you render this service, when you render your solutions, who pay you? Because when you stack up products, people are going to pay you for them. So who pays you for this? So look at this guy. We all know him. He's Justin Welsh. Justin Welsh is the father of solopreneurship, in my opinion. Justin has generated over $11 million working as a solopreneur in the past 6 years. We all know what he does, who he helps, the problem he solves, and who pays him. Basically, he's out on LinkedIn to help people transition to solopreneurship, and people who pay him are professionals who want to become solopreneurs or solopreneurs who are trying to scale. So he's very clear on what he does. So the formula I use is very simple. I am X and I help Y achieve Z. So you could say I'm a founder of a tech business and I help salespeople achieve 20% more sales per month. That's simple. Like that simple line positions you. You know who you are, you know who you help, you know what you help them do. So this is the solution to the first problem of positioning. I'm X and I help Y achieve Z. Simple. For me, at the time or currently, I'm a LinkedIn ghostwriter for founders and I help them build profitable personal brands. I'm a LinkedIn ghostwriter for founders and I help them build profitable personal brands. So that's for me currently. Now, this clarity makes content easy because since I've told you I'm a ghostwriter for founders, I'm not targeting any other niche, right? I'm not targeting creators. I'm not targeting people in the fashion business. I'm targeting founders. Founders, you could say founders is large. It's large. It's also large, but it gives direction. No, and that brings us to another point. The clearer this statement is, the easier for you. And I believe that for everyone who has been in business, it's easy to get a very clear version of this statement. Very, very easy. So get this one liner as clear as possible. Let it be clear what you do, who you help, what you help them achieve very clearly. Then you move on. And that makes content easy, right? Right. So there are certain parts of your sorry, there are certain parts of your profile that you will have to work on. You have to tailor your profile to reflect this new information. Now, once you've answered those four questions, you know what you do, you know who you are rather, who you help, who pays you. What you should do next is to make sure that those things reflect your profile. I'm going to show you how to do that with some examples. So this is Justin's profile. I think his old profile. As you can see, it's clear what he does. Turn your expertise into your income. That's the heart of solopreneurship, and that's what Justin does. And you see, these are credibility markers: Forbes, Entrepreneur, Insider, Indie Hackers. These are places he has been featured in. So if you want to create a banner, your banner should say exactly what you do or the value you bring to the market, as well as people that have made that show that you are credible, right? Forbes and these other guys. For my own case, you can see my credibility markers are up here. I have to change this. It's over 100k impressions, 17k people, over 17k people reached. And this was the engagement I got for one of my clients, 67% engagement, as well as seen on Favicon and Forbes BLK. And yeah, I help. What I do is quite clear. I help founders and business coaches turn ideas into content and into clients. Next, you want to work on your headline. So if you look at Justin's headline, you see it's 10 million solopreneur at that time, helping 100,000 experts turn their expertise into income. So this was Justin Welsh, right? So it should be clear what you do. This is his profile. This is what he does. Helps. This is what he has achieved. This is what he does. So for every part, you have a one-liner for what you've achieved, and you also write what you do. Make it clear. On the headline for Justin is very clear. And you see the same for myself. LinkedIn Ghostwriter for Australian founders. This was from a while ago. And business coaches. This is what I've achieved: 100k impressions. Magic Post partner. And this last statement tells you exactly what I do. I help Australian founders get visible, trusted, and remembered on LinkedIn without posting daily. And then, to be fair, I worked with an Australian founder, worked for a time, and she got very good results. So basically, as I said, your headline should say who you are, and what you've achieved. Your about section should be like a story telling what you do. Now it has a couple of parts. What you should have is why you are here, what you've achieved, how people can reach you. So you see on Justin's own, you see Justin says his story, how he got on LinkedIn, then what he has achieved. At the bottom of this, you have how you can reach him. So this is it. You tell a valuable story or your pitch, you list your results, and after you listing your results, how can people reach you? So this is it for Justin. I think this is mine. Yeah, this is mine. So you can see on my own, I tell the story of what the client has to, what the client goes through, and here is how you can reach me on LinkedIn. If you want to work with me, let's talk. Basically, send a DM. I'm going to still work on this, but definitely this is the standard. This is the standard. Now for the featured section is where you add your product and your freebies. So if you have products or you have free things like your newsletter, your email course, you add them here on your featured section. Your podcast link, your products, you add them here. Now you set up your profile, and what you need is great content. Now to create content, you need to create content that positions you as an authority and helps you get leads. And as I always say, this is not about getting attention, it's about getting the right attention on LinkedIn. You can always get attention. What you want is the right attention on LinkedIn. So here is step 2, the rule for every post. For every post you write on LinkedIn, there's a rule for it. There's a rule for it, and here's the rule. Before writing any post, write this at the top of your page. For who, so that why. Now, most people overthink content, and I feel that's why most founders or business owners don't really grow on LinkedIn. They overthink content, they overthink business, they overthink social media. What you need is a direction for every post you write. There are frameworks, you could go deeper, and I'm going to get there. But to start, you need to have a clear framework of what you want to do, what you want to write. And the simple framework I use to get started is for who, so that why. For who, so that they can why. So for example, we have for founders, so that they can stop wasting time and start reaching the right audience with content. That's the reason we have this very presentation. For founders, so that they can stop wasting time and start reaching the right audience with content. Now, what this means is that for anybody who watches, who after writing this, I already have a clear direction of what I want to write or what I want to achieve, right? So when you create content this way, you don't create a miss, you don't create wrongly, you create something that is aligned with what you had in mind. Because one thing we find with people is that when they sit, they have a blank page. They don't have anything going for them. What you want is you want to have clear direction. So you think, what do I want to write about? What do I want to create about? Once you get that, I want to create about helping founders sell more cars. Then it's simple for founders of car businesses so that they can sell more cars, and you start writing. That alone gives you direction, it gives you focus. And I feel that's what most people on LinkedIn lack. They lack direction, they lack focus. That's why I see most brands, they really you can't really tie them to anything. There's really no much substance. Even brands with substance, you have to always go back. You have to always put yourself in a place where you are always on track. And these things like this is the starting point to help you be on track on LinkedIn. So as I said, this gives your post direction. Now there are three types of content. This is step three. So now, prior to this time, you've worked on your profile. You now know how to start writing or creating every single post. The next thing is, what are the categories of the posts you want to create? Because there are basically three categories of posts you can create on LinkedIn. So everything you write on LinkedIn, I always say this on every of my call. Every single post you write on LinkedIn falls into any of these categories. It's either it's a top of funnel, it's a middle of funnel, or a bottom of funnel content. For those of us who have been on the content space or have been on LinkedIn for a while, must have heard of this before. It's not new to us. So I'm going to quickly run through and want to and help you understand what exactly we need. Now, what is top of funnel? Top of funnel content is content you write to get rich and to connect. Now, when you read most top of funnel posts, they are posts that help you connect with your readers. Sometimes they are long stories, sometimes they are short stories, sometimes they come off as motivation. What you want with top of funnel is to reach more people. And everybody you reach via that post, you want them to connect with you on a different level. Most times, top of funnel post, you see, it's a funnel. At the top of the funnel is to help you attract more people. And the easier way to do that is through stories, through motivation, through things that actually help you connect with a large majority. That's why I see people who are into various content types. When they do top of funnel posts, it's quite broad because you want to connect with a huge amount of people in that industry. So as I said, is building awareness and for connection. That's what you want to do. And it's usually story led, emotional, and personal. Usually starts with I was or you can in the 19 when I was a child. The story led, it has a story. Usually it is usually a story with a lesson. Most times it's very emotional. People share very emotional stories about heartbreak, divorce, business failure, whatever. Very, very emotional stories. Those stories really connect. Maybe they are personal events, maybe things you've learned that you feel people need to learn. It may not be that personal, it may not be very, very fantastic to you, but it's something that you actually feel that will connect with a lot of people. These are that's the style. So something that's personal, it's emotional, mostly story led. And it has a structure. So I think I got this from Matt Barker. Matt Barker had a very clear structure for it. You start with the hook. And for context, hook is anything you use to get attention. The first line or the first two lines of your post. The job of those two lines is to get attention of the reader. So you start with the hook, you share the story, you share your realization. If there's a special turning point, you share it. What you achieved, the results, and the lessons. The result and the lessons very important. So after sharing the hook, people see the hook. Oh, stuff like how I made $1 billion in my 30s, right? Now that's a very strong hook. Or I after I grew up in Chicago. I grew up in Nigeria. Eventually became a billionaire at 30. So you see that's a hook, right? A very strong hook. Now the next part after that will be the story. So the story could be maybe three or four lines or a paragraph of how the key points of what you achieved. And after that story, or no, the story could be how you started, how you grew up, and how things were for you at the start. The realization could be, okay, at this age, at this point in time, this is what I realized. This was my turning point. Then you share your results, all the good things you achieved, the lessons, and most times you end with a question or something to get people's engagement. So this is a very simple structure that helps you build connection. Because you start with a question or a hook, then you follow up on the story, write your lessons, give your advice, and ask for engagement. So we'll have mostly motivational stories, life lessons, celebrations, transformations. So these are posts that we encourage you to do regularly. And if you have a specific one that always hits or a specific style that always hits, it's advisable you always share that story. The good thing is that we always learn every day and there's always a lot of cool stories to tell. So it's a very, 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 very important content type that you can use and I always encourage you to use. I'm going to get into the sharing formula of how to use these content types rather as we go forward. As I said, it's more of stories, life lessons, celebrations, or transformations. So I said it grows your reach, it grows your brand. The next is the middle of funnel. Middle of funnel is for expertise and authority. Basically, with this kind of content, you want to show that you understand what you do and people should listen to you. Middle of funnel content is to show your expertise, to teach your audience. So you are teaching your audience, you are showing that you are the best at what you do. That's what this MOFU is for. Basically, it's to demonstrate expertise and it's usually frameworks and actionable content. Framework, actionable content. So sometimes it comes as carousels, sometimes it comes as infographics. Basically, something that people can read right now and implement immediately. Frameworks people can take right now and use immediately. That's basically it for this kind of content. And there are common hooks you can use. How X ways rather what ICP can achieve results without pain. So this is a simple hook you can use. How founders of car businesses can achieve 100% results without without experiencing sales drought. So that's a cool hook. Now, with this kind of post, how founders of car companies can experience 100% results without sales drought. Now you're about to teach how founders can do that kind of stuff. So this kind of post is it requires you to teach. This is on this kind of post you actually share your knowledge, share what you know, share it, let people understand that oh, this is what this guy is saying, this is what he means, this is how he's saying. So with this kind of post, you are trying to share your expertise and build trust. It's quite shorter, and the hook is a simple structure. You get the hook, which is this thing you want to talk about. You talk about the problem because most times middle of funnel content is addressing a specific problem. Talk about the problem, you give context. Then you talk about the proof that you have solved the problem. So let's say you have a framework you use, you have to show proof. Then you list the steps or the framework or how to do it. And you end with the CTA. The CTA is usually a newsletter link, a DM, a call, or usually a lead magnet. Basically, with middle of funnel, you want to get most of those people who have seen you closer to you. The way you can get them closer to you is to get them to join your newsletter or to book a call or to DM you or to buy your lead magnet or to view your lead magnet or to basically do any of these things. What I do most times is I always try to use the DM. I also use lead magnet sometimes. I use podcasts sometimes. I use call sometimes. So basically, these are all the ones you can use or LinkedIn. So I said with this, you need to get the idea of this one is to get leads because anybody who comes closer into your world, who buys your newsletter, or who joins your newsletter, who buys your product, who DMs you, who calls you, who um who subscribes to maybe a free resource you attach to that post. It's not a lead. It's somebody that is interested in working with you, somebody that's interested in buying something from you. So with the idea of this post is to get more of those kind of people. You are trying to filter out from the crowd, people that are really willing to go further, who you can help, rather, who you can help and are willing to go further. The last one is bottom of funnel, and the idea of bottom of funnel post rather is for conversion. So the idea is people should see this kind of post and willingly buy from you, and willingly be able to like, okay, I trust you. This is enough. I'm going to book that. I'm going to book that call. I'm going to get into that conversation. Well, it may not happen like that in practice, but then it's to help you build a stronger layer of trust. A stronger layer of trust. People should read your bottom of funnel content and have very little doubts that you can know that you can do what you do. You should build trust among the audience who is seeing it. So for bottom of funnel content, what you want is proof. You just need proof to show that you know what you are doing and you've done it before. I think the reason why most people don't post bottom of funnel, especially young professionals like myself, is that they don't have a lot of proof on their hands. So for business owners of businesses who have been in business for years, or you're a founder, a consultant, or a business coach, you have proof of work. You've been in this car business, you've been in this consultancy or this agency for years, so you have proof of work. So basically, bottom of funnel is showing proof that that thing I said before, I've done it, and this is the result. If you're interested, you call me. Basically, that's what you do in bottom of funnel. As I said, this may not work as high or convert as easily, but it's an extra layer of trust, and it's the strongest layer of trust you want in your personal brand. So basically, as I said, it shows results, close clients. The type of posts you have here are proof testimonials and outcomes. So if you have testimonials, people who love your work, you can share it. You have proof of work, you share it. If you have outcomes you've achieved, you share it as well. So it's quite short. It's just the hook, a little backstory to explain, give context to your testimonial or the proof or the outcome. Explain the outcome and you drop a link. Usually for bottom of funnel, it's usually a call link or a link to buy. Usually a call link or a link to buy. So I said this one converts all the attention you'll be getting into revenue because you're going to get a lot of attention on LinkedIn if you do this right and you now convert that into revenue. So we're still looking at the weekend branding method. And currently we're now at step 4. Step 1 was where we talked about your positioning. Step 2 was where we talked about the rule for every post. Step 3 is where we talked about the content types. Step 4 is the content schedule, weekly content schedule, and it's quite simple. For someone who's just starting, who has not been on LinkedIn before, the simple schedule I advise you to use is this what you have on the slides. Top of funnel one day, two middle of funnel Tuesday, okay, top of funnel Monday, middle of funnel Tuesday, bottom of funnel Wednesday, top of middle of funnel Thursday. Now it's structured like this because on Monday or Tuesday, depending on whatever you do, you have just 4 days on this calendar. So let's start from there. You have 4 days on this calendar. And the reason is because you need a weekend to create. You need Saturday, Sunday, Friday for those who have an early weekend or who work who have a lot of times on Friday, a lot of time on Friday. So you could add Friday evening, Saturday, Sunday. So you have 3 days to create. And what you should do is basically jot out your thoughts, jot out your ideas, then you schedule a day and you create content for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, what you should do is that even if you don't use this very specific calendar, you should make sure that your content is at least scheduled 24 hours to the time. Don't be in the habit, though most creators do it, the habit of posting that very day or waking up at a random time. Pick a specific time and follow it through. So this is the calendar. Top of funnel first on the Monday. Tuesday we have the middle of funnel. Wednesday we have bottom of funnel. Thursday we have middle of funnel. So you see on this calendar you have more of middle of funnel content because, as I said, middle of funnel is where you teach. It's where you show people that you know what you are doing. Bottom of funnel is for trust. Most times, bottom of funnel content may not get that much engagement. But for anybody who actually reads and is in the right position, who you speak to, this kind of content, bottom of funnel, we help them actually see value and be willing to convert, if not that in that moment, but make them a very warm lead for you. Top of funnel content is to get crowd. So if you make a post, top of funnel post on Monday, Tuesday you teach, Wednesday you show your proof, Thursday you teach again, and you are done for the week. This simple because when I started out with 4 at a time. I started doing 5, then I went to everyday week. So this is the exact calendar to start. Don't overwork yourself. Stick to 4 days and get results first. When do you create the content? Weekends or free time? So if you have 20 minutes, 30 minutes within the day, in between meetings, while you wait for maybe your spouse or before you leave the office, you have some 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you can create content by then. I always advise that you can, if you have a journal, please keep a journal. to create, to get to always jot your ideas. You can voice dump, um, always write down your notes as well. So how you can write during you create content during free time on weekends. So you have enough time to create content. So honor the time for content. If you are just since you are just starting out or you are about to start using this very framework, as I said, it's just Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 4 days. Please block out time to create the content. Have it on your calendar and honor it. There are certain things I honor for myself. I know my newsletter comes out every Saturday by 3 p.m. I know I have to shoot a podcast episode or release a podcast episode every Saturday. I know how to write content every day, and I have time blocked for all these activities. So please block time for creating content on weekends. Even if it's a free time, you know that you're always going to be free by this time. Block that time. Your mind, you subconsciously start getting used to it when you once you honor that time. And once you get in the groove of it, you may not need to use that reminder anymore. But at the start, block time on weekends to create content. Show up and honor the commitment. Show up, honor the commitment, make the content. Now, these are things that will make content easy for you. Use a journal. Keep a journal, right? Keep a journal. If you keep a journal, content will be very easy. If you do voice dumps are where you pick up your phone and you say every single thing that comes to your head in the morning. So most times what you can do is you can take a walk or you can an idea hits you, pick up your phone, record a voice note, upload it to AI, tell it to bring out the ideas from that call, from that voice note, and you can now store them in a book. Basically, voice dumps are very natural because once you pour out your heart like that, when you go back to releasing, ideas you might have missed will be there. Keep learning new things. The more things you learn, the easier content will be to create. The easier it is to create content when you are learning. If you stop learning, content becomes very hard. I think the reason why most people don't have things to share is because they stop learning, they stop implementing, they're just coasting. So you don't want to coast, right? You only want to have a source of truth, number one source of truth. For myself, my number one source of truth is my newsletter. That's where I drop all the new ideas. I let people know that this is what I've learned, this is what I'm working on. So you need to be learning to create content and you must write from your lived experience. So once you start experiencing stuff, you start things you've experienced, things that are valuable to you, things you think can help other people. Once you've experienced them, write about it and you get groove with content. So basically keep a journal, use voice dumps, learn new things, write from your experience. All right, so I'll say don't write with AI. Use AI to remove errors and refine. So basically, write content by yourself. Always this one advice I give: write content by yourself. Don't just say AI write a content for me about write a post for me about the state of food in the UK. You're going to spit out something generic. What you should do is you go to your notepad, open a new tab, write for who, so that what, fill in the gaps rather. Come down, write dear son as a salutation. Go to the next line and write out what you want to write. It must not be perfect, but it should be your perspective. The formatting should be yours. The idea should be yours. Everything should be yours. Take that same thing, paste it on your AI you use, Magic Post, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever AI tool you use. Post it there and let it remove the errors and make it refined. Say I'm writing this for LinkedIn. It's going to give you a perfect result. Don't just go out there writing content with AI. It's soulless. It gives you no soul and it kills your credibility. Pure AI content, pure AI comments, they are very, very terrible for you. AI is better now, but please protect your brand. Schedule content on weekends. So once you create the content on weekends, schedule it for that weekend. Don't wait, don't delay, don't procrastinate. Don't wait to post it on that very day. Schedule content for weekends because you know you won't have chance for you know you won't be free within the week. So schedule your content for weekends. Latest 24 hours before the post goes live. So if you want to create post for tomorrow, then you should have written the post today. Try. Don't be in the habit of creating post uh 1 hour, 2 hours to time. schedule your post an hour before, 24 at least 24 hours before. So tomorrow's post should be out today. For me, my tomorrow's post is not out yet. Reason is simple. I'm going to be writing a post from the feedback from this live call. But if it were not this live call, the ideal thing and what I usually do, or most times what I love to do, is to write it at least a day before. Don't get in the habit of writing your post that very day. It's going to make things hard for you, especially if you have a business or you're a 9 to 5. You can't live that way. Make sure your post at latest goes live 24 hours before. It's scheduled rather 24 hours before time. Don't delete your post. Even if the post performs poorly, leave it. Leave the post because posts live longer on LinkedIn these days, and it's proof, right? Personal branding, content, posts, they are proof. They may be poorly engaged now, but then it's to show once you start getting better, you start getting higher engagement, and your post, anything you write on that post, it's not just helping you or helping the AI algorithm. It's a proof to show that you know what you are doing and you can do what you have promised you will do. So the next step is engagement, and basically engagement is simple. Engage for at least 1 hour a day. You're a human being, and LinkedIn is a platform for humans, right? It's sad we now have AI bots engaging on LinkedIn. But what you want to do is engage at least 1 hour a day on LinkedIn. Be yourself. Go out there, speak to people, comment on people's posts. Try to get contacts, try to be real, try to help, try to support. Be a human and engage for at least 1 hour a day. It helps you, it helps the algorithm. So I suggest you engage for 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after your post goes live. It helps the algorithm. It helps the algorithm. I can't tell you how, but it helps the algorithm. Because once you are active and you comment at least 30 minutes before, people who post around that time see that you're active, you see you're commenting. So once your post goes live, it's also pushed to those people who are also active at that time. So you should always make it a habit of commenting 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after your post goes live. And also pick a posting time. Don't be random. If you are posting 6 a.m. every day, make sure 6 a.m. is 7 a.m. Make sure it's 7 a.m. Try to be consistent and hold that discipline. Take- Don't comment with AI, please. Don't comment with AI. Don't comment with AI. It kills your credibility, please. The last step is execute consistently. Now, this thing works. I can promise you that this weekend branding method works. I mean, I've been using it for over a year. What you have to do is to execute. Execute so I get results. Execute. Don't do it for 1 month and stop. Don't do it for 2 months and stop. Don't do it for 6 months and stop. Execute continuously. As you execute, develop your own frameworks, your own method, and you find out that it's not as hard as you think. It's not as complex. It's not as scary as you think. You have a simple method. You have a simple content schedule. You have a simple way of creating content. They just execute and get the results. So I said this method works. Your job is to execute. Basically, as at the time this was created, generated over 100K impressions, grown to reach 17,000 people, grown to 8K plus followers now. As of today, 8K plus followers. I have a branding with Magic Post, and I'm also a top voice on LinkedIn. And I've actually closed clients through inbound. People have actually reached out. Somebody has actually reached out to me via inbound. I don't know this person before, and I've closed the client. So it works, right? So one thing I always say, these are screenshots of people reaching out to me. One thing I always say, this is a recommendation I got from my client. The one thing I always tell people is that for someone like me who just started out in career and I'm able to do all of these, I don't see the reason why you who has been a business person, who is a consultant, who is a business owner, is unwilling to or can't do this. If you want to use this method, if you want to use this method and grow consistently on LinkedIn, I can help you implement this. I can help you implement it. So I can help you implement this method for your brand. Here's the offer. In the next 2 months, I will help you implement this method. Now the program works like this. In the 2 months, I'm going to help you make get a clear positioning, create content, and create your set up your LinkedIn to generate inbound. I'm going to create your LinkedIn system to fit your life. So let's say whatever business you are doing, by God's grace, I'm going to help you set up your LinkedIn, use your LinkedIn in a way that actually fits your life, fits your current situation. So what's included is simple 4 posts a week. You get scheduled via Magic Post, so you have autonomy over what goes on. You have a 30-minute strategy call. You have end-to-end creation, so basically you can stay hands off, and then you get a free LinkedIn revamp profile optimization from me. Post scheduling and strategy execution, hands off execution, and then a profile revamp. So if you want me to help you do this, if you want me to help you use this method for your brand, please book a call. Please book a call or use the link on my profile or in the chat, which is basically my Calendly link. So if you want me to help you implement this weekend branding method, you are a founder of a business, you like what I've explained, you feel it will work for you, you want to give it a try, no worries. Book a call, reach out to me on LinkedIn, or use um, my Calendly link. I will get started. Q&A. So if there's any question, please drop it on the chat. I'm gonna wait for a few minutes. Then once, just a few minutes to see if there's any question. If there's no question, we're gonna end this session right now. Thank you very much. See ya, guys. So, yep. Any questions? If there are any questions on LinkedIn, and also this, I said this very live session will be going on. This session will be going live on YouTube. I said live. This session will be recorded and posted on YouTube, so you can also catch it on YouTube. It will also be here on LinkedIn, so it'll be here as well. If you have any questions on the weekend branding method, you want me to help you use this method for your business, you want to actually build a great business using this method, or you want to actually be consistent. If you just want to achieve consistency, as I said, you have a clear positioning, you'll be able to create content and you stay consistent. So if you want to achieve any of those, you want to have that clear positioning, you want to create content and you want to stay consistent, this is the right place for you. You want me to help you achieve this, send me a DM and I will use this weekend branding method, which I just explained, to help you achieve that. So if you have any questions, please let me know, or you can drop it on me in the chat. You can send me a DM on LinkedIn or book a call on my Calendly. We are always out there. Thank you very much for the time. Thank you very much for joining. If you got any got value from it, feel free to reach out to me or to send it on LinkedIn. And also I want to let you know my newsletter still comes out by God's grace every Saturday, same as my podcast. And I'm also on Twitter as well. So you can catch me on Twitter as well. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate your time. Since there seems there are no questions for the chat, thank you everyone who joined. Thank you everyone who attended. If you are interested on working with the weekend branding method, send me a DM and I'll reach out to you. Thank you very much. Have a great time on LinkedIn. It's amazing being here. Really, really amazing. 91 slides today covered. Very, very amazing, guys. Super amazing. Super, super amazing. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye.